me, Lana J, and I want to thank you for tuning in today. So, you know, of course, last week I had the phenomenal Chris Johnson here from Johnson National, and he talked about his success, his road trip to become the CEO of his company today. And as we sat there and discussed the whole little journey, we talked about sacrificing, okay? We talked about risk-taking, and we talked about branding your company as a whole to really make you stand out from everyone else. Now, when we released the episode and people were watching it and were watching it through YouTube and on this network that you're seeing right here, we received a huge response. People were asking us, can we get more? Is that the whole interview? Is there another part to it? When will you have him on again? So we decided, since the information, number one, is important, and if I feel as if it's something that needs to be spread through, from one person to the next, we decided to take the remainder of his interview and broadcast it today. So what you guys will be seeing here is actually part 2 of the Chris Johnson's interview of Johnson National LLC. And, of course, you'll see us discussing both of our triumphs and both of our letdowns through our journey of entrepreneurship or entrepreneurship, whichever road you decide to travel. So please sit tight and watch the remainder of the Chris Johnson's interview from Johnson National LLC.
One of the things I do now, working with the Department of Corrections, is because a gentleman sat at the table at a hibachi grill with me. Didn't know him, they just sit people together. And I just turn around, hey, what business are you in? Oh, I do this. Oh, really? Hey, listen, they're not teaching them everything. You got to learn about this entrepreneurship. Oh, yeah. And now I work with people at the prison. Oh, I'll tell you, not only do they get the benefit of the knowledge, but I learn from them. Because from the outside looking in, I try not to watch the news and stuff, but sometimes, those statistics to get in your head, they're going to do this, they're going to do that, they're going to do that. There was one young man in there. Now, this is my first day with them. And I'm telling him, talking to him. He said, well, I got my 5-year plan, and I was looking at my goals, and I was revisiting them. Goals, 5-year plan. Why are you here? I mean, they gave me so much knowledge, and I've learned that, they always say you can't judge a book by the cover and everything. And this is my new thing now. I'm like, you can't write somebody off until they actually quit, until they tell you, look, game over, I'm not doing it. And so some of these people, they're in there for either using drugs, selling drugs. These are they are ankle bracelets, court dates. And they're telling me things like their goals and their business. One of them said he had a legitimate candy store, but he was also on the streets.
Okay.
And he kept dipping his life back and forth. And I said, you tainted your water.
Right.
That's why. But these people, they have goals and ambitions. And I told them all, I said, you're all entrepreneurs. You just had the wrong product. You had the wrong product. And one young man, if I could leave you with this too, this young man, I walked in, and when I was being introduced, his back was to me. He didn't know that I was there. And he said, man, if I had $1 million, I walked in on this statement. If I had $1 million, I'd buy $1 million worth of drugs, and I'd take all y'all sets. And I said, whoa, Lord, what you want me to say to this man, right? And he looked at me like, who's this guy? And I said, can I rebuttal? He said, sure. I said, if you had $1 million and you spent it on drugs, I'm just going to tell you as a businessman, that's a bad investment. I said, because if you're spending all the money plus all the materials, you need to put it together and you have to get out there and sell it, you're taking all the risk. That's just bad business. And no one's ever talked about not selling drugs from a business. That's just bad business, sir. You shouldn't do that. How can you build a future if you got to keep looking behind your back?
And that's what, that's the one thing, and I've always said it because I can say he's like my brother. Blood, couldn't make us any closer. We grew up together, and he's in and out, due to certain situations or whatever. But when his business aspect from the other side of the tracks is amazing. Wow. And I talked to him, and I go, what are you doing? I said, let me buy you some T-shirts, and why don't you go sell that? Because it's crazy how it's just mentally, it's like you're born a businessman. Wow. You're born, you're doing it the wrong way, but it's like you could be a millionaire by now because it's like natural to him. It's just, but he won't, not yet. I'm hoping that I have my fingers crossed because his book's not closed yet, that he's willing to, come back to what I know he can do and what I know he can be. Yeah. Because I see it. It's like, give him anything and he's going to flip it.
You should play stocks.
That's what I'm like. You
should be in
need
the stock market.
But I think that's something that a lot of people, they believe that they can't do it
because they're told.
And
buy into it.
And that's one thing. And it's like like I said, the reason why I brought you on, because you have a completely different viewpoint.
Thank you.
And I know a lot of us are going to school. I know a lot of us have parents, and I like to compare it to the freedom riders, right? And the reason why I'm saying this, if you guys watch the movie, the Butler movie, Daniel Lee Butler,
Yeah.
okay, so you saw the difference between how the son was thinking and how he was thinking.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't want to rock the boat. This is working. Don't change it. And the son is a completely different generation. He's saying, no, something's not right. And I feel like my generation, where we're at, we need to rock the boat.
Yeah.
Because what worked in the past is not working now.
It won't.
It's not. It financially, we're set up to fail.
Yeah.
The minute we graduate, if we're going to pursue the same steps that our, mothers and our fathers and grandfathers and whatnot pursued, I don't see anything positive happening, because we came out with $20,000 worth of debt already.
Yeah.
You get what they say, you get your graduation cap and you get your bill at the same time.
That's what I tell people. You get 2 pieces of paper. You get your diploma and a bill.
Seriously. And it's like, I think it's that time. And I think if people like of my age can listen to people like you, because I consider you could be a mentor to somebody, a valuable mentor.
Thank you.
Because of what you say, you're honest. It's not school book. It's not textbook.
Mm-hmm.
You'll tell somebody flat out, I do not think this is right.
Yeah.
And I know that you have classes online where you provide this on like a mass platform as well.
Yeah, we did. We used to have webinars. Yeah, I took them down for a while.
When are you going to go back and do
yeah,
one?
I'm going to go back.
Good.
I'm going to go back.
Because I'm talking about enrolling myself, because like I said, I'm young, but I know this is not what's going on is not working.
Mm-hmm.
I can see this, and I don't have years of experience, and I'm looking at it like this ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
It's not. So I think that just to let somebody hear, just to have somebody else say you can do it, means the world.
Everybody can.
I mean, but you have to hear it, because
Mm-hmm.
if you don't hear it, what I hear is you're not going to be anything if you don't graduate.
Yep, statistics say
That's
this,
what I
and
hear.
you say this.
I hear,
yeah.
oh, you have 2 kids because your father wasn't in your life. You're a
Mm-hmm.
statistic. That's what I hear. I don't hear you can do this because you're smart. You can do this because this is how you've been your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you can do that. I don't hear that. I hear statistics prove, statistics show. And I'm looking, and I talk about it because I could have allowed myself to be a statistic,
Mm-hmm.
because if you look at my upbringing, I'm not saying I didn't have a bad upbringing. I'm not saying that I was just out here, but what I am saying is I grew up without a father. All right, that's a statistic.
Right.
They say that most young women who don't have a father in their life end up getting, teenage pregnancy.
Right.
That's true. I got pregnant. The first time I got pregnant, I was 18. That's a statistic.
Right.
And, they say usually if they have their first child young, they have their second child young, whatnot. And it's like, and I'm looking, and for a second, I had to wake up and go, you're not a statistic.
Yeah.
Even though it looked like everything was happening and I wasn't going to be any better than this.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I saw, because of what I was conditioned to understand. And if you have a kid early, you're not going to be anything. And I went, whoa, wait. And it got to the point where I was ashamed to go around my family. Wow. They didn't treat me different. Don't misunderstand but I was ashamed because I'm like, oh, I'm not married. I'm not this. I'm freaking out. Like, seriously, I hit a low point. And I think it's because I had the fire in me, but I didn't know what to do with it. Yeah. I was afraid. And I think that we come back to the sacrifice thing, because once I started the show and I started talking about the idea, and it started occurring to me that I can make a change, that blew my mind.
Yeah, and that's what people don't understand about statistics. Statistics are taken from stuff that's already happened. It's already happened, which means you can change it. 50% of businesses fail. Okay, so let's do better. And then it'll be 40%, 30%. You see what I'm saying? And I felt the same way about statistics. I remember I was told when I was coming up, African American males at 16, you're either going to be in jail or dead. And I remember on my 16th birthday, I said, yes, thank you, Lord. Then I said, wait a minute. I don't run the streets. I'm not in the gang. I'm a mama's boy. I'm in for the light squad. I fit none of the criteria, yet I bought into it. So yes, you can change it.
I want to just share that with, people watching, because I
Yes.
think that the whole point of why we're here is to bring stories. Just like you talked about what happened with U.S. Cellular. I'm sure that you're not the first person that's happened to. Okay, so I'm sure it's somebody watching that can
Yeah.
say, wow, that happened to me 2 weeks ago, 2
Right.
days ago. So it's just, I want to bring these stories out just so people can understand that. And I think with all the negativity that we see in media, not just in the city of Chicago, but just nationwide,
Right.
we don't have that hope anymore. There is no sense of hope. There's just a sense of fail if you don't do it this way. And
Right.
I use the carrot in front of the horse metaphor,
Yeah.
because we're constantly chasing after this golden carrot that, if you realize, very, very few of us get. And the ones that get it don't do it the conventional way. They're very unconventional about how they get it.
Yeah, they cut the string.
They do. Versus chasing it, they just go snip. They
Yeah.
take that risk, climb up on that pole, and cut the string. So I would love for you to go ahead and tell us how we do contact you, for those of you who want to expand, who want to grow as an entrepreneur, or even just self-help, because I think that what you
Yes.
say can be applied to just regular life.
Yes.
It can be applied to a business aspect. It can be applied to a college standpoint, because like sacrifices, I don't know why I keep going back to, yes I do, because this is something that's just that's happening in my life now. That's why I'm stuck on it. I even realized that relationships,
Yes.
sometimes you have to sacrifice a relationship for the better.
Oh yeah.
And that was something that I had a problem with. I ain't got a problem with it no more, but I had a problem with it because you want everyone to reap the success that you know you're going to have. So, like, did you ever come across a time where that's something that you had to do?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. In the beginning, most people used to say, I'm gonna start my business with my friends or my family. And I had to learn why they say, you don't mix the two. Unless you like the Jacksons, you got instruments, I don't see any reason why. And I started off with my closest friends. It was 7 of us.
Okay.
And we tried 3 different ones and they kept failing. Why? They never made off the paper when I say fail, which is the best way to fail. You want to fail on paper. But because I looked at us and I looked at what we did at the time. This is me years ago. And I looked at us at the time and I said, wait a minute. We were trying to do event promoting. I said, okay, event promoting, you got to count the money. You got to watch the door. You got to do this.
You need insurance, you need the whole nine.
You know, all this. But I looked at what we did and I said, okay, you smoke. You drink too much. You chase too many girls. So I wrote up bylaws. And in it, I said, you can't drink the night of. You can't smoke the night of. You can't chase girls the night of. They disappeared.
Wow.
And so I tried it again and again and again, because my whole thing was when I do, like you said, the success that I know to come, I want you there with me. But what I realized is I can't drag you there. You can either see the vision and come. You can catch your own vision and go. But if you're not dreaming it at all, like the wristband I gave you,
Yes.
yeah, that dream, wake up, do it. If you don't have a dream, then,
If you guys can see, I'll Instagram it so you guys can check it out. It says dream, wake up, do.
Yeah. And
Do it, excuse me.
Yeah, it's the 3 stages of entrepreneurship. The dream, you dream the impossible dream, has nothing to do with your circumstances, your finance, your life, nothing. You just dream as big as you want.
I was told that if your dream isn't too big, you need to go back to the drawing board. I was
Yeah.
told that. Like, if your dream isn't ridiculously huge and almost impossible,
Yeah.
that you need to go back and rewrite.
Yeah, they say dreams aren't the things that you see when you're asleep. Dreams keep you awake. They stop you from sleeping because you're chasing it. And then you wake up, and that's the planning part. You plan, you make it real. What do I got to research? What do I got to learn? Do I have to go to school? That's why I kept doing that when you brought up school, but I'm not going to do that. We'll be here another hour. But do I have to go to school to get it? And then do it, which is the hardest part, because there's no instruction. You just do it.
Oh my.
That's the scariest part for
There
people.
is no manual. Like, I can definitely say, though, from my aspect, self-taught,
Yes.
read.
Oh, you got to read.
You have to read.
Leaders are
reading.
readers.
You have to read. And, I know a lot of people, I know from my generation, reading is like taboo. But I go to Barnes & Noble in a heartbeat and I pick up How to Budget, like financial planning for dummies. I do, because I'm not a mathematician. I know how to like add, subtract, multiply, and divide.
Right.
But as far as like putting a budget together, that's complex. It's way more complex than people like can understand, because you can have all the money in the world, but there are other aspects that kind of pop up.
Yes.
Like where do you price point? What do you sell your product for?
Mm-hmm.
You know, what is the competition? The market research that is incorporated in that.
Yes.
And these are a few things I'm spitting off that I learned myself, not in class.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned because I'm so hungry that I took the step out myself. So like I canceled all of my magazine subscriptions for Vogue and Cosmopolitan and Glamour, and I have Black Enterprise.
So you're trying to tell me you
Entrepreneur.
sacrificed?
I did. I sacrificed my September issue. But in return, I'm getting Black Enterprise, Entrepreneur, the regular Enterprise, Money Magazine, Forbes. And I'm reading and I'm reading and I'm reading. And at first I was reading, I'm like, what is this crap? I was like, I don't understand half of the terminology in here. I'm a broadcast major. I know copywriting and cut. I don't know what is it? What was it called? Like IRA investments or something. I'm like, what is this? What is a Roth? Who is
Right. Who's this guy?
Who is this guy? But then I realized as I meet people, like I network, I meet you. I meet other people who are established already. And I'm like, whoa. Either I step my game up or I get out, because I'm not even in competition mentally, to compare business to business, because I'm like brand new at this. So for those of you who are like me, because like I said, the whole point of this show is for you to see mistakes like I make them, for you to grow with me, because that's what we do constantly. We constantly change.
Yes.
So for those of you who want to take advantage of the knowledge and the wisdom that Chris has, how would they be able to contact you?
You can reach me on my website, www.johnsonnational.com. You can just call me at 855-832-7401. And if you're not quite ready to take that plunge, Monday mornings at 7 a.m., you can go to my website to get the radio link. We have a live talk show in which we discuss the same topics. And then on Fridays, I release my blog called Blog of a CEO. And they can read that information. So we got bookends, beginning of the week, end of the week. And all of it can be found on johnsonnational.com.
Okay, so by all means, please check out, like I said, the radio spots, which are very, you just immerse yourself with knowledge when you listen to, the guests that you bring on, and then when you guys talk. Because, like, it's real experiences. It's not, because, I feel like, sometimes even when you read a book, my life as an entrepreneur, I feel like they cut out most of the important stuff.
Right. The pain.
Because you have a copywriter going behind it saying, no. Give me the dirt. Give me the stuff that I need, so when I go through it, I know it's going to be okay.
Yes.
Don't give me just and I magically ran into Ice Cube.
Right.
And we just so happened to come up with it. No, don't give me that. Give me the 500 times you failed before, and let that deal at the end be, when it really happened. So please check it out. Like I said, dream, wake up, and do it with 3 important stages. I am trying to do it, but we'll see. Bear with me. It's a process. But the whole point of this show is the sacrifice that you took, that now you're touching lives.
Yes.
Nationally, which is something you probably wouldn't have done working for U.S. Cellular.
I know I wouldn't.
So it's surprising to see that what we're capable of, and I think the human mind is a remarkable thing, and I think we take it for granted. Remember, the human mind is what created the computer. We tend to forget that. The reason why the computer is here is because we thought of how to create it. So obviously, this is the motherboard of everything, and I think that, especially for my generation, this applies to all generations, but the reason why I'm focusing on mine is because I believe that we're head-on hitting a financial crisis with us trying to succeed. We want, getting the bare essentials, we're already putting ourselves 4 steps behind just to be, 5 steps ahead like our parents were when they were pursuing college. So I just want people to understand there are different avenues. I just did a 20-minute project on this for my English class, because I want people to understand that, we talk about entrepreneurship, there's also trades available that are very successful.
Yes.
You can make an easy $64,000 a year not getting a 4-year degree. So I just want people to understand that if you have that light bulb, if it went off, if it is going off, in the future, or if it already went off, to understand what it is and to recognize it and just to take hold of it and don't be afraid. Because I was afraid of myself for a while.
Yeah.
I was afraid of what I was capable of doing. I said I was afraid of what I couldn't do, but I can do anything.
Right.
I was afraid of what I couldn't do. So that wraps up this interview. I would like to thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
This was one of the best interviews that I've had. We really opened up and, got to get to the grit, which is what I love. Which is the dirty part of it, which is what I love. Because it's life.
Yes.
Yes. Here, obviously, you don't just say it. We don't sugarcoat anything. It is what it is. And you take it, you love it, or you don't like it, whatever you want. But you can't say that you didn't get the information,
right,
which is the most important part. So thank you for being on.
Me.
And thank you, guys. I'll see you in a few. Hey, everyone. So as you can see, Chris Johnson is definitely a knowledgeable man. Through the times that we've sat down and discussed ideas and business ventures, he continuously amazes me with the concepts and the ideas and the experience and the knowledge that he has is just dripping off of him. So what I wanted to kind of just sit here and talk to you guys about, since you guys did get to see the full episode, or the full interview, through the 2-part series, is a lot of you out there I know have that same feeling that I still have to this day, where it's that hunger inside of you, it's that drive, it's that passion, and it's that desire to be a better you, to want more. And this really isn't a motivational speech. It's really about recognizing that passion and that drive and applying it in the right direction. For me, it was doing my own show. A lot of you have talents and have opportunities in different avenues that you probably overlook because you're so focused on one set thing, or you're busy working, or you're busy going to school, doing 900 things at once. And this episode really hits to heart because I want to let you know that I've been there. And I want to let you know that I completely understand the process, what you go through, because I still do it to this day. I juggle schedules. Many of you know I'm very vocal about it. I have 2 little ones, and being a young mom and still pursuing a bachelor's and working is a lot of work. But one thing that I will let you guys know, that through the sacrifices he discussed prior to, that you take, I've sacrificed, I've been there. If it meant not going out, I guess I just didn't go out. But to sit in this chair and feel the satisfaction that I did something, I can actually say amounts a lot more than to just random drinks and random people at night. So what I really want you guys to take from this is, if you've been sitting there and you know that what you're doing isn't enough, if you feel like you're wasting your life, even if you're, being accomplished and you're winning this and you're getting that and you're achieving this award, but you still feel as if you're lacking, it's probably because what you're doing, you don't have a love or passion for. And if you don't have a love or passion for what you do, it's going to be very hard for you to last in that industry, in that career, or at that job that you're working 40 hours a week to, put food on your table. So, I'm not saying to run off and quit whatever you're doing. What I'm saying is embrace your passion, Follow that drive. Like for me, one of the main things that I had to come to grips with was, wow, I want to compete against multi-billion-dollar companies and start my own show. But one thing that you have to understand is everybody else was once a smaller company. Everybody else was once at the beginning stages of their career. Regardless if you want to be an artist and you want to pursue like a musical career, a comedic standpoint, or an acting standpoint, or if you want to open up your own company, everybody that we see here today that have the Fortune 500 companies once started as a small business. And a lot of the things that they've learned are self-taught. Now, when I go into the self-taught concept, I mean that if this is something that you really want to do, you need to learn the verbiage. You need to understand the process and how everything works. I went from where I am, a broadcasting major. I have no business teachings. I don't take courses on it, nor have I taken courses on it in the past. And my family does not operate a family-based business. So everything that I learned, I had to dedicate the time to purchase these books, to read up on it, to read articles, to read entrepreneur magazines, to understand the thought process on how when I walk into a meeting and I'm ready to sign contracts, that I know exactly what to put on the table and what to receive. Chris Johnson is one of many out here in the city of Chicago who help people put their goals in a step-by-step process so you can achieve it. There are also a lot of resources in the city of Chicago, one being the Cultural Center, where they have seminars and presentations and people that you can meet for free on a regular to help up-and-coming businesses, up-and-coming artists. They have the Artist Festival, the Music Festival. I mean, there's just numerous of events that help people like you and like myself get to where we want to be. There are also grants that the city of Chicago offers. I know a lot of people sit there and they talk about the money issue. Let me break this down. I have 2 kids and I am not balling out of control. But what I did to self-fund my project was those refund checks that I received while I'm attending school, I put aside until I had enough money to self-invest. Okay? One thing that a lot of people want is they want people to put money in an idea that they don't put money into their own idea. That's not going to happen. If you don't invest in yourself, how can you expect somebody to invest in you? Okay? Life just doesn't work that way, but there are different avenues that you can go ahead and pursue to achieve that goal. So my overall point is, if you do make that sacrifice, if you do sit there and take the time out of your life for a couple of months, even a year, to put money aside, you can eventually invest in your own dreams. And that investment will become pure satisfaction a year on from then. So I will see you next week, Friday at 7:30. Until then, it's me on Just Say It. It's Lana J.